In a world where influence is measured by economic might, a veiled threat echoes from the deserts of the Middle East. As the sands shift under the global stage, Saudi Arabia, a nation known for its vast oil reserves and religious significance, emerges as a potent player in the diplomacy game. Recently, the kingdom issued a veiled threat to the elite G7 nations over a contentious issue: the potential seizure of Russia's frozen assets. The G7, a group of the world's wealthiest democracies, was considering tapping into Russia's sizable assets, frozen in the aftermath of political conflicts. But the Desert Kingdom was having none of it. With a warning of potential consequences, Saudi Arabia showcased its burgeoning diplomatic influence and its ability to impact global economic decisions. A move that was both bold and cunning, it sent shockwaves through the international community. But why did Saudi Arabia intervene? The motives behind the kingdom's stance are as enigmatic as the Arabian Nights themselves. Was it self-interest, considering the extensive economic ties between Saudi Arabia and Russia, particularly in the oil market? Or was it an act of solidarity with Russia, a fellow BRICS nation, signifying a shift in global alliances? The speculation is as vast as the Arabian Desert, with no clear answers in sight. However, one thing is certain: this incident is a stark reminder of the shifting dynamics in global decision-making processes. We are witnessing a move towards a more multipolar world, where power is no longer concentrated in the hands of a few Western nations. Instead, emerging economies like Saudi Arabia are increasingly flexing their diplomatic muscles, influencing decisions that shape the world. This veiled threat from Saudi Arabia to the G7 is a testament to the changing global political landscape. It is a narrative of rising powers, shifting allegiances, and the intricate dance of diplomacy, and it's a narrative that is just beginning to unfold. This incident underscores the shifting dynamics in global decision-making processes, leaning towards a more multipolar world. Threats are not without consequences, and Saudi Arabia's warning reverberated across the globe. The kingdom's veiled threat to sell off European debt holdings in response to the G7's consideration of seizing Russian assets was a clear demonstration of its growing diplomatic muscle, and the potential economic fallout was not taken lightly. The European Union, for one, found itself in a precarious position. While there was lobbying from the United States and the United Kingdom for a more forceful approach, the potential impact of Saudi Arabia offloading European debt created a palpable tension. This economic sword of Damocles influenced the opposition among EU member states to the proposed asset seizure. The stakes were high, and the threat was a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of global economies and the ripple effects that one decision can create. But the European Union was not alone in feeling the pressure. Gulf states too were on edge. Their concerns about potential Western economic pressure on their assets heightened by Saudi Arabia's audacious move. The threat underscored the vulnerability of these nations to economic shocks, and the need for diplomatic finesse in navigating these choppy waters. Strained US-Saudi relations added another layer of complexity to the situation. Human rights issues, particularly the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, have been a sticking point between the two nations. President Biden's urging for Saudi Arabia to normalize relations with Israel and participate in Gaza's post-war governance further complicates the relationship. The delicate dance of international diplomacy continues, with each move fraught with potential for far-reaching repercussions. In this global chess game, the moves and counter-moves of nations can have dramatic and unforeseen consequences. Saudi Arabia's veiled threat was a powerful reminder of this reality. A reality that the G7 nations grappled with as they sought a path forward that balanced economic stability with their political objectives. A delicate balance must be maintained in international relations as the powers that be navigate a complex geopolitical landscape. The dance continues, and the world watches, waiting to see which way the pendulum will swing next. In the grand game of global politics, every move is a lesson to be learned. The recent diplomatic maneuver by Saudi Arabia, a BRICS nation, underscores the increasing influence of these countries on global events. Saudi Arabia's veiled threat to the G7 nations, warning them against seizing Russia's assets, was a bold play that demonstrated its economic might and diplomatic influence in shaping global decisions. Now, what does this mean for India? India, like Saudi Arabia, is a member of the BRICS, a coalition of 5 major emerging economies. This incident serves as a reminder that the economic and diplomatic clout of these nations is not to be underestimated. It's a call to arms, highlighting the need for India to strengthen its own economic resilience and diplomatic prowess. India's foreign policy has traditionally been non-alignment, maintaining friendly relations with all nations and avoiding entanglement in global power struggles. However, as the world becomes more multipolar, India may need to reconsider its stance. The Saudi Arabia-Russia G7 incident shows that economic might can be wielded as a tool of diplomatic influence, a strategy India could potentially adopt to protect its interests on the global stage. Moreover, India's economic strategy needs to be robust and forward-looking. The incident highlights the importance of having significant foreign exchange reserves and investments, something Saudi Arabia leveraged to great effect. By diversifying its economy and increasing its foreign exchange reserves, India can ensure it has the economic muscle to back up its foreign policy decisions. The world is changing, and India must adapt to keep pace. The BRICS nations are increasingly influential, and India, with its rapidly growing economy and population, is poised to be a major player. The lesson from the Saudi Arabia-Russia G7 incident is clear. Economic might and diplomatic influence are key to shaping global decisions. In the end, it's not just about power, but about how that power is wielded. And that is a lesson for India and the world. As we've seen, the global political landscape is rapidly evolving, and it's crucial for India, and indeed all nations, to adapt accordingly. India, with its burgeoning economy and rising global stature, is in a unique position to leverage its growing influence. But to do so effectively, India needs to rethink its traditional foreign policy of non-alignment. While this policy has served India well in the past, the shifting sands of global politics necessitate a more proactive stance. India should consider using its economic might as a strategic tool in international diplomacy, much like Saudi Arabia did in the Russia G7 incident. This doesn't mean India should abandon its principle of maintaining friendly relations with all nations. Rather, it should wield its economic power judiciously, to protect its national interest and contribute positively to global stability and peace. Furthermore, India needs to focus on strengthening its economy, particularly by diversifying its economic sectors and boosting its foreign exchange reserves. By doing so, India can ensure that it has the economic resilience to back up its diplomatic decisions and withstand any potential economic shocks. As the world evolves, so too must India's approach to international diplomacy and economic strategy. The emerging New World Order, characterized by multipolar power dynamics and the rising influence of the BRICS nations, presents both challenges and opportunities. It's a world where economic might and diplomatic influence go hand in hand, and India, with its vast potential, can play a significant role in shaping this new world order. But to do so, India must learn from the lessons of the Saudi Arabia-Russia G7 incident, adapt its strategies and step up to the plate. The future of global politics awaits, and India's role in it is yet to be written. Thank you for watching our video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Until next time, stay informed.